We're on lesson 8.8. That's page 469 in your book. This looks different than what is in your book. I think it's usually separated by one of those, and then it has P equals 4. However, when it's set up like that, to me it's confusing. So I try to put them on separate lines, okay? So we are looking at this, and the very first thing I want you to do, if you see an inequality symbol that does not have a line underneath it, right above it, I want you to put an open circle. If it has a line underneath it, I want you to give it a closed circle. I want you to get in the habit of this because this will apply to later lessons, okay? You can do that all the way from problem number 2 to problem number 8, or even 9. I just didn't have room on my board for number 9. So yeah, get in the habit. That's the first thing you do. If it does not have a line underneath it, which means equal to, put an open circle. If it does have a line underneath it, put a closed circle. Second thing you need to do, you need to ask yourself what kind of numbers make this true. So 0 is going to be the greatest number. So what is a number that's smaller than 0? And just list like 3 or 4 of them. -1 is smaller than 0, -2, -3, -3.5, -4. It's easier to do this stuff in later lessons if you have a good idea of what your numbers are supposed to look like. So if you do this, I promise you'll get better grades. If you just like look at it and guess, it's not gonna work. So, it says P, this number, is equal to +4. We are to answer the question, is it a solution or is it not a solution? And all of these numbers have negatives in them. This one says -4. 4 is greater than 0. We want a number that's smaller than 0. So 4 is not a solution. Okay, that's your answer to problem number 2 in your book. Moving on to problem number 3. Okay, there was an equal to sign, so I had to do a closed dot. It says that -3 is going to be greater. So we need to come up with numbers that are smaller than or equal to, -3. So -3 is an option. Anytime it has this equal to line, I want you to start with the same number, okay? What is smaller than -3? -4 is smaller, -5 is smaller, -6, -6.5, -7.5. All of those are smaller than -3. Y is equal to -1. Is -1 on our list? It has the negatives, that's true, but -1 is going to be greater than this, and so this is not a solution. Okay, number 4. First, look at your symbol. Look at your inequality. Is it going to be an open dot? Is it going to be a closed dot? It does not have the equal to line underneath it, so you need to put an open dot next to it. Again, doesn't apply to this lesson, but if you get in the habit, it will make future lessons so much simpler. -1/2 is going to be your smallest number. What are some things that are greater than -1/2? And if you're looking at a number line, if you say like 0 is here, these are your negatives, and this is your positives, and anything greater is going to be facing this direction. So I have -1/2 right here. So we just need something on this side. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those are bigger than negative half. So u is equal to 0. Is that one of our choices here? Does that make this statement true? This is a solution. This is a good option. Okay. Number 5, look at your symbol. What kind of circle do you need? Do you need an open circle or a closed circle? You need an open circle. And 0.6 is going to be your smallest number. We need stuff that's bigger than 0.6. 0.7 is bigger, 0.8, the whole number of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so now we have to answer, is 0.23, is it greater than this? Honestly, I would just take away this and I would say, is 0.2 greater than 0.6? And that is not true. Would you rather have 60 cents or would you rather have 20 cents? I would rather have 60 because it's more. And we're looking for something higher than 60. So this is not a solution. Number 6 in your book. First, look at your symbol, open dot or closed dot. Open dot. We are looking for something that's smaller than 2 3/4. Something that's smaller than 2 3/4 is 2, and 1, and 0, and -1, and -2, and -3. Okay, now we have to look at our possible solution. Is 2/3 smaller than 2 3/4? Yes, it is, but this doesn't have a whole number. This fits in right about here. Okay, so this is a solution. Woohoo! 2 more practices to go. On number 7, 8, and I want you to do 9, I just don't have it on the board. On number 7, 8, and 9, it just wants you to come up with solutions. It says, I think it says like 2 possible solutions. Yeah, guess what? You've already been coming up with like 5 or 6 already. So, what are some possible solutions? What's something that is smaller than 2? You got 1.5. You got 1. You got 0. You got -1, -2, -3. Look, I just gave 6 solutions, and it just wanted 2. So you can go and be better, okay, than just 2 solutions. Oh, we forgot our dot. What kind of dot is this? It's going to be an open dot. Number 8, what kind of dot will that be? That will be a closed dot because it has the equal to. Remember, if it has the equal to sign, because this says z is greater than or equal to -3, I always want one of your solutions to be that number. If it has this line, I want you to write that. Okay? -3. And then we need something that is greater than -3. -2, -1, 0, +1, 2, 3, 4. All of those would work. I also want you to get in the habit of including decimals into your solutions and some fractions into your solutions, just so that you know that those are options. All right? On your worksheet, you only have to do the front. You really don't have to do number 1 because remember when there's all those lines, it just makes life really confusing. So I will be grading 2 through 9. You don't have to do number 1. You don't have to do anything on the back. But your day is not over because you have task cards. The task cards that you have for today, they aren't necessarily with these inequalities with this lesson, but they are applicable to chapter 8 as a whole. You just have to read through the problems and decide, is it a multiplication problem? How would I set up this problem? It has variables, it has a letter, and so it really wants you getting familiar with what function, add, subtract, multiply, or divide, and it really wants you getting comfortable with setting up an equation. Okay, not an expression. An expression does not have an equal sign. It has an equation. You want to like have an answer to it. Okay, so you have the front of 8.8 and you have task cards. Have an amazing day.